Down to Stasny. There's Carolina. Now it's up top. Pesci. 12 seconds left in the power play. Kotkaniemi with it. He's across for Carolina. Back in. Sends it across Kotkaniemi. Hammers one and he scores! On the power play! All patience pays off for Carolina.
All right, everybody. Welcome into What the Puck is Going On. I am Dave Metzger. It is January the 2nd, and we have hoped that you guys had a good new year and some fruitful tickets as well. Hopefully you've been cashing. I know we're starting to heat up just a little bit here in the studio. The hockey bets are going pretty well right now. A little bit of soccer mixed in there. And Steve has hit a bit of a stride with the soccer and the basketball, throwing a little bit of NHL in there to boost some things up. So we're going to look to keep that going with a little bit of insight this evening. We only have 2 games, so we'll go over those. We'll do the standings first, as we usually do. And then we'll probably go over a little bit of the slate tomorrow because that's going to be where all the games are. There was one this afternoon. That was a good one. If anybody was able to tune into that, Boston Bruins beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1 in the Winter Classic outdoor game at Fenway Park. That was a pretty good game. Low scoring affair, but those can still be pretty exciting. I feel like Penguins had a chance. They made a little bit of a late push there. Evgeny Malkin, one of their forwards, actually got the puck to go in, but the game had already ended. Clock was at double zeros. The goal did not count. Boston takes the game. So as I said, a pretty lackluster slate tonight. We have it switched up. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. We have the Vegas Golden Knights are at the Colorado Avalanche. That'll probably be instead of the game this afternoon, which was pretty much the marquee matchup of the day. This one should be a good one between 2 Western Conference teams, jockeying for playoff positioning and points. So we'll definitely get into that one. That'll be the one that we probably try and focus on and see where we can get some value out of it. The other game, Philadelphia Flyers are at the Anaheim Ducks. That game, I really don't know what to really say about this game. I'm leaning towards the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm thinking a team total. I'd like them, I'd like to take them to win. I think they will, but at this point, I just can't trust anything that they're doing. They've picked it up just a little bit. Anaheim still letting a ton of goals in. So the over at that game is 6. Like I said, we'll get into that. But the makings of all the lines and the overs here, it's gonna be a hard task to find some good stuff out of that. And as we always say, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to bet it. But if you're looking for some dancing partners, there is some other stuff on tonight. A pretty good Monday night football game. So if you're trying to make a little parlay, and you don't mind a 10 p.m. puck drop out there in Anaheim, we'll see what we can do to find the value in that game. I'm sure it's there somewhere, but we'll take a little bit deeper dive into that as it comes. So let's go over the standings. We'll start in the Eastern Conference as we usually do. The Atlantic Division, Boston Bruins, 29-4-4, good for 62 points. As I just said, they did beat Pittsburgh today. And that was actually a pretty important 2 points there for Pittsburgh that they failed to get. It looked like that game may go to overtime. Boston scores, I believe, with about a minute 45, somewhere around there. And Pittsburgh, as you can tell, they couldn't muster up the push to get one pass and force overtime. So they do not even get a point out of that, which when we go through these standings here, we'll tell you why that's a big one for the Capitals anyway, and for the rest of the teams like the Rangers and the New Jersey Devils, who have a lot to benefit from that loss. The Pittsburgh not getting any points there. Also, the Islanders very much benefit from that as well, as they are tied. Both teams, Pittsburgh and the New York Islanders, 44 points apiece. So that keeps the Islanders, right there with them, tied 5 and 6 in the Metro. But we'll get to that. Second place in Atlantic, the Toronto Maple Leafs, 23, 8 and 6. They are good for 52 points. Trailing Boston by 10 points in that division. As you can imagine, Boston's probably going to run away with that. They've got a goal differential of plus 57. I mean, they are just lights out right now. And it's really worth noting here that they are 19-0-3 at home. So they've lost 3 games at home all year so far, but those are overtime. They have not lost in regulation at home, which is pretty big, especially when it comes playoff time. You imagine they're going to get the home ice advantage. So that's, with a stat like that, that can loom pretty large come playoff time. Third place in that division, Tampa Bay Lightning, 23, 11 and 1. They are good for 47 points. So they're a good ways back in that division from first anyway. They're in third, which is a playoff spot at the moment. So it's about nothing's really changed in the Atlantic. You can pretty much guarantee that for a while anyway, that's going to be the 1, 2, 3. The next closest team would be the Detroit Red Wings. They're at 39 points, 16, 12, and 7. So that if that tells you right there, the gap between 3 and 4, so we can kind of have a good idea of who's coming out of the Atlantic 1, 2, and 3 seeds come playoff time. And while we still have a ways to go, we are about halfway through 82 games in a season. Most of these teams are somewhere around 37, 38. There's probably a couple that are maybe up to 40. The Kings have played 40. San Jose has played 39. And we're much in between 35 to 40 games played. So we're getting to the halfway point. So we can kind of, start to maybe talk about the playoff positioning a little bit. Again, long way to go. Anything can happen in that stretch. But we can certainly always talk about it. So let's go into the Metro here. We have the Carolina Hurricanes. They are in first place in the Metropolitan Division. They're 25, 6 and 6. That's good for 56 points. So that's pretty good. They are kind of right there with Boston. They're still trailing them by a couple points, but they're in kind of striking distance if they want to win the President's Trophy, which I don't know is a nice trophy, good recognition. But there are some superstitions come playoff time. Most President Trophy winners is a little bit of a curse, as they don't seem to have the greatest luck come playoff time. So I don't know how important that is to too many teams. Obviously, yes, you want to get as many points as you can and get into the playoffs. But with the Presidents, the top team, yeah, it's nice, but is it really that important? I don't think so. Second place in that division, the New Jersey Devils. They are 23, 11 and 3. They are good for 49 points. So slipping a little bit away from Carolina there. There's a pretty good gap in between 1 and 2. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And third place in that division, here we are, the Washington Capitals. They are 21, 13 and 5, and they are good for 47 points. So they're only 2 points back of New Jersey for second place in that division. And so if the season was to end today, if we want to do a little hypothetical real quick, It would be New Jersey and Washington in the playoff matchup there. I think that would be a pretty good one. If this trend continues the rest of the way, that might be something to keep an eye on come, 65, 70 games played, getting right there towards the end. Fourth in that division, New York Rangers. So they're one point out of third. Pittsburgh with 44. New York Islanders with 44. So there's that 4, 5, and 6 grouping there in the Metro. Things are going to be pretty tight here throughout the rest of the season, I have a feeling. So this is going to be a division to keep an eye on. And certainly when we get into the slate of games, as these games become more important, we can try and ride these teams to kind of, bet on. We're hoping for them to perform and do what they need to do to help us make a little bit of coin as well. So let's go into the Western Conference here. We'll start in the Central Division, and we're not going to really have any surprise here. The Dallas Stars are at first place in this division, 23, 9, and 6. They are good for 52 points. Right behind them, they're a couple points behind them. This is the 1 and 2 battle we've been talking about here in this division. The Winnipeg Jets. They are 23, 13, and 1. And that is good for 47 points. So they're 5 points behind Dallas for first place. In the grand scheme of things, that's not all that much. So still somewhat of a tight race here for 1 and 2, which means as we look at the futures, we are still probably going to hold some value between 1, 2, and even 3. And that would be the Minnesota Wild in third place in this division at 21, 3, and 2. And that is good for 44 points. Colorado Avalanche, they are fourth in that division, 19, 3, and 13. And they are 3 points behind in third place. I believe they are in the wild card spot, though. So nothing extremely concerning for Colorado just yet. St. Louis, they're in the 5 spot. They're 17, 17, and 3. They're 4 points behind Colorado. And then Nashville is 5 points behind them. So a little bit of I wouldn't say it's super tight there, but we're not surprised by the 1 and 2. We've been talking a lot about that in the last couple weeks. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we can get the values out of these two teams when we find them in the slate. Whatever night it may be, it doesn't have to be tonight or tomorrow, although certainly I would be looking at either of them tomorrow as that's when more of the games are. So let's go into the Pacific here. You have the Vegas Golden Knights. They are leading this division at 25, 12, and 2. They are good for 52 points. Los Angeles, second place. That is the Kings. 21, 13, and 6. They are good for 48 points. So they're trying to keep pace with Vegas. Vegas is on a little bit of a slide. We'll get to that here when we do the Vegas and Colorado game coming up at 9 p.m., I believe that game is. Third place in this division is the Calgary Flames. They have moved up. This is a team that I really thought would be competing for first in the division. I still think it's possible, but they do have a little bit of work to do as they are 18, 13, and 7. And that's going to be good for 43 points, where you have Seattle is right behind them in the 4 spot. 19, 12, and 4. That's good for 42 points. And Edmonton, they also have 42 points coming in at 20, 16, and 12. I tell you what, right now, Edmonton is just a little bit of a disappointment to me at this point in the season, halfway through. This is not at all where I thought they would be. Still time to pick it up. But so in my book, on my slates, Edmonton has been a huge disappointment so far. I believe, both of us here in the studio, we thought Edmonton would be doing quite a bit better than they are, but it's not that way. Only a +9 goal differential, which I feel like it was kind of their same deal last year. They can put points on the board. Yeah, I'm just always kind of worried about their goaltending, and their defense just a little bit. They have a losing record at home, but they're pretty good on the road at 11-6-1. So something to keep an eye on there with Edmonton. Maybe can we pick on them a little bit? I don't know. They have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl there, two heavy guns for them. And on any given night, that either of them can light it up, and they can light it up together. So I usually stay away from picking on Edmonton too much, but as of right now, they're not where we thought they would be. So maybe that's something that we can keep an eye on, and see what happens with them down the road. All right, so there's the standings for you. We're going to go ahead and jump into the slate. I don't believe. Actually, you know what? Before we go into the little bit of the slate that we have this evening, and we're going to look at some of the games probably for tomorrow, being that we have a little bit of time, and then we'll go into the futures. We're going to go ahead and take us a quick little break, and then we'll be right back to jump into these two games to see if we can find anything that looks appetizing to play with these games. So we'll be right back
on the siding. Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services, from pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning. You got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter? The constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water? I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution for your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. You're behind the wheel. You may think you are fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
Family owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze and catching a little sun. Our friendly staff at CP Shuckers will make your next dining experience a pleasant one by delivering personal care. We are open until 2 a.m. Full menu will be served until 10 p.m. and late night limited menu until 1 a.m. For larger parties, please give the location of choice a call. Pacific Avenue, 757-425-8676 or Shore Drive, 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a shuckin' good time. Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter? The constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water. I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution for your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
And he and Klingberg have been trapped out there for a while. Now Toffoli fresh off the bench for Anderson. He scores! Off the crossbar and into the Flames. We'll go home for the holidays with 2 points. You could just sense near the end of that shift that the Ducks were getting a little straight-legged. And the tendency when you do that is to back up. You let people like Rasmus Anderson get that puck into pretty good shooting position. Zegras didn't have enough juice there to really defend against Anderson, and he throws it up. Boy, what a perfect shot. Up and under the bar, short side, over top of the glove. Look at that shot. Wow. Great shot by Rasmus.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. That little clip there is a Flames goal. So a little bit of action there. I believe that was from just the other night. Like I said, they're playing pretty well, so somebody to keep an eye on. And I thought they would be a little bit better. We just talked about that. So it's good to see that they're trying to get to where I thought they would be, which makes me, a little bit more inclined to lean on them some nights, as I know that they are trying to, get better positioning there in that division. So let's get into it here. We got the Vegas Golden Knights at the Colorado Avalanche. So we got the spread here at -1.5 for the Colorado Avalanche. That is at +152. It's worth noting here that the Vegas Golden Knights, they are not playing very well at the moment. So that's I think that's the reason, because I was looking at this game actually quite a bit before the show started, and I was having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do exactly with this game. So as we dive into it, we'll see what we can find. They're on a 1-game winning streak, but they're only 5-4-1 in their last 10. And if you look in the last 10, Colorado has picked it up a bit. They are 6-3-1, 9-6 at home, 10-7 on the road. So they have a winning record either way. So we have the Vegas Golden Knights coming into Colorado. Let's check out the injuries for these two teams real quickly here. So for Colorado, Pavel Francois is their goalie. He is out with a lower body injury. He's expected to return in the next couple days, but that is a big name injury for them. Valery Nichushkin, he's a right wing. He is out with an ankle. He'll be back in the next couple days. Josh Manson, he's a defenseman, lower body. Bowen Byram, he's got a lower body injury. Another defenseman of theirs. But they're both Josh Manson, he's not expected to return until at least January the 10th. So a little bit longer term on him. Not quite the same with Bowen Byram. He should be back within the next couple days. And then we have their hotshot left wing, Gabriel Landeskog, who is a massive piece to this team. He is still out with a knee injury, expected to be out until at least January the 12th. So we'll see if he gets back around this. Sometimes those knee injuries can take a little bit longer. He is on the IR, so that is the soonest that he could return, and it doesn't usually always work out that way. So we'll see if that's actually the date that he ends up coming back on, or around, I should say. Sometimes it could be a little bit longer. So that's about the same, really, I believe, since the last time we talked last week with them. I believe the injury report is just about the same, but it doesn't seem to be hindering them too much. As we said in the last 10, they got a pretty good record there, 6-3, and 1 is nothing to be upset about in a 10-game stretch. You're getting your points, that's for sure. So not too much to be concerned there. And let's jump down here. Look at the Vegas Golden Knights injuries. And they have a long list of injuries. Jonathan Marchessault is a center for them. That's a big piece. He has a lower body injury. He should be back anytime, but I do not think he's playing tonight. Jack Eichel, another big name for them, centerman, low body. He should be back soon, but they're both on the IR as of right now. They have a defenseman, Alec Martinez. It is an undisclosed injury. He should be back around the same time as them. It's all looking like January 2nd, which is today. Like I said, I don't think that those guys are playing. If they're not, then that is we're definitely going to be looking to pick on them and Colorado to continue to get some momentum. Let's see here. Another defenseman, Daniel Miramov. He's got a lower body injury. They're not even saying when he's going to be back. Brett Howden, centerman. Paul Cotter, centerman. Shea Theodore, defenseman. Those are all slated to be back soon. Brett Howden, he's a little bit longer. He's got a couple more days on him. Zach Whitecloud, defenseman. He's got a lower body injury. A couple more days for him. And then here's a concern for me. Robin Lehner. I think he's been out for quite a while. I don't know that we're going to see him anytime soon either. He's got a hip injury. And I don't think we'll see him at any time here in the near future. Nolan Patrick, a centerman for them, upper body. Yeah, he looks to be done for the year. Shea Weber, defenseman. It's not looking good. They have some big injuries at the bottom of this list. So, yeah, let's go ahead and pull this back up. Let's see what we can take. Let's go start off here, Uncle Steve style, and go with team total goals. As I try to find that here, I am on a little bit of an unfamiliar book here as I'm in the driver's seat. So we like to shop at different places. Nothing wrong with that. But this is not one that I am super familiar with. So I'm trying to find the play that we want. And I can't. Here we go. 60-minute Colorado team total goals. Over 3.5 is going to pay you plus 126. You know what? I could see that maybe just for the value. 4 goals from Colorado. It's got to be done before there's any kind of overtime, if there is. So let's go ahead and we can go over 3.5. That might be a little bit difficult, but with the injuries that we just saw, that makes me a little bit more comfortable to play something like that. They have some big-name defensemen that are hurt, which means some younger guys, probably from their farm system, are going to be stepping up. So I think Colorado, with some of their more experienced players, will definitely be looking to take advantage of that. So I don't think that's a terrible number if that is something that you wanted to go with. Over 3.5 plus 126. Definitely, it would definitely be something that I would consider for sure. So let's see what else can we find. If we think they might be some overtime, plus 330 for the if we think there's going to be some overtime, minus 480 if you don't think so. You can kind of see what the book is thinking here. If I'm being very honest, though, I would like that number to be just a touch higher for some overtime. Although between these two teams, the caliber of teams that they are, I don't think it's impossible at all that these two teams go to overtime, get a point, and fight for that extra point. But as I said, I would like that number just to be a little bit more. That might be a touch greedy, as it's not a bad number, plus 330, but it's something that, like I just said, would be a little bit higher. I might would play it, but I think Colorado takes this one. Like I said, overtime is certainly possible, but I don't think it's going to happen here. Here's something that we could look at. This is an interesting take here, and I was actually looking at this the other day, as I haven't played this in a while. It's the highest scoring period. Yeah, we're gonna get some good values on a slate like this evening. If you're feeling a little frisky and you're just like the heck with it, why not? Let's just take a shot on something. There's really not much going on. You could take a couple more, I guess you would say, risk with this. So we have the first period at plus 370. We have the second period at plus 250. And then we have the third period at plus 240. So as I look at this, I would be inclined to play the second period myself. Maybe they come out in the first period and they're just trying to feel the game out. At this point, these are two, not mirror images, but more similar teams. They are higher, they're of the higher caliber in the NHL. So sometimes it can take a little bit for these teams to feel each other out in the game, which I believe is why the first period probably has the highest price tag on it. So I kind of like the second period play here. It's definitely something at plus 250. If you're playing it with something else, it's only going to help the ticket. But these are, you're kind of taking a stab at it. You definitely want to do a little bit if this is something that you play, something that you want to do a little bit of research on and see, hey, what is this team doing? Does Colorado score a lot in the second? Or, which period seems to be theirs where they have the most production? So this is just something that's kind of a little bit more obscure that you could play if you're really looking for some plus values. So let's see here. First period total goals. Let's go into that. We just talked about how, the teams might have a little bit of a feeling out period. It looks like the book agrees with us. Over 1.5 goals in the first period is a minus 130, under 1.5, plus 102. So I think I would kind of take a chance on the under here, actually, a little bit. As you saw in the game today, it was very low scoring, more of a defensive game. And these two teams, I feel like could absolutely play a game like this afternoon that was 2-1. And so if you're going to do that, then why not take a ride on the under 1.5? Teams are feeling each other out. It's a little bit of a defensive lock in the first period. Maybe it's 1-0 in the first period. So plus 102 for under 1.5 goals in the first period would be probably something that I would also consider to look at. Certainly probably want a dancing partner with either of these numbers. I don't do many solos myself. I've said that on this show and the round robin. If you wanted to play that single, you certainly could. But I think with the value we're getting out of these numbers, these would definitely be paired with something in my book anyway. So let's see here. If we want to, is there going to be a goal in the first 5 minutes? The book, if you think there will be, you're going to get a plus 180 price tag on that. That's a little bit of a gamble there. I don't see that happening in this game. So your no is going to pay minus 235. I don't really like that. I really think there's some better plays on the board there. And so let's go to the goal scorers, and then we'll move on to the next game and try and find something out of that. Although that's looking like that could be a pass, but I want to look at the Flyers team totals and that. I think that's probably going to be the smartest way to play that once we arrive there. But so Nathan McKinnon, somebody probably that the Avalanche are going to lean on quite a bit. He's paying plus 138 to score a goal. I don't mind that, and I don't mind that number at all. In fact, that's something that I would seriously take a look at in this game. These goal scoring props, kind of like, if you listen to the round robin, the touchdown scoring props, they're never a sure thing. You obviously think that these players, with how skilled they are and what they do week to week, game to game, you think they'll get in there, just kind of as they please, but it just doesn't happen like that. So it's why it's called gambling. I know you're picking one guy out of the roster to score, but if there's going to be anybody that I would take a ride on scoring, and it would certainly be Nathan McKinnon. And at plus 138, I think that's probably a very fair price, as that's something that I certainly think is achievable. And we have Mark Stone here for the Vegas Golden Knights. He takes quite a few shots on goal. So if, he's one of their top shooters, he's going to be looking to shoot. And with all the injuries, just like with Colorado, they have some injuries. They're going to lean on McKinnon. I think Mark Stone is somebody that Vegas is really going to try and lean on and get some production out of. He's paying plus 210 to score. I think that's a pretty good number for him. That's certainly achievable. Like I said, I like to play shots on goal props quite a bit. And when I get to these games with the Knights, I always see his total is always usually more than 2.5, sometimes 3.5. And I have seen him a couple times at 4.5, which can be pretty hard to get to. You're talking guys like maybe David Pastrnak from the Bruins or Alex Ovechkin. You're really top tier guys that like to pepper the goal. So that's usually where their numbers are set on. But I feel like if you can get Mark Stone at 2.5 shots on goal, I feel like that would probably be – I don't see it on here. Let me see if I can find that, because I'm actually pretty interested in that. We have points and assist here. I don't see it on this book, but I'll go off probably what I think it would be. You're probably going to get anywhere from a minus 115 to a plus 130 on that. So anywhere in that range, I like all that value. Mark Stone to score at plus 210, or look at his shots on goal props and shop around, because that might not be on this book, because I don't see it. It is on mine, but I'm not using mine. The next time I'm in the driver's seat, I will probably have to pull that up as I can find a lot of stuff that I like there that I'm not finding here. So that's where we're going to go with this game. If we're going to do player props, I'm going to go Nathan McKinnon or Mark Stone, I think, are your best bets. There's also Riley Smith for the Vegas Golden Knights, or Mikko Rantanen for the Avalanche. Rantanen is plus 124. Riley Smith, he's at plus 198. I all think that's pretty good value. The top four guys here that they're showing, certainly guys that I think will get their chances. So if you want to go that way, get your value out of it. that's certainly a way to get something out of this game. So let's go ahead, go to our last game. We got about 15 minutes, and then we'll get you out of here. The Philadelphia Flyers at the Anaheim Ducks. This game doesn't excite me all that much. These guys, they're not very good. Two candidates for the penalty box. We forgot to go over that.
You're trying to switch 7 guys. Mike, come on. You can't do that.
These two teams right here, though, certainly candidates. So let's just go ahead and then for the evening anyway. Anaheim, they're just not very good. So any road ahead for them. They just let way too many goals in. So you can probably bet that from week to week that they are going to be in the penalty box. So they're a team that's always flirting with that. They're certainly somebody to pick on. I'd love to pick on them a little bit more in this instance, but I can't trust anything Philadelphia Flyers, although they're picking it up a little bit. So Philadelphia Flyers, and here's what to tell you how this game is going. The money line is minus 111 for the Flyers, and for the Ducks, it's minus 110. So this game is just who knows? There just is no telling here with this game. They're two very stinky teams. And if they were football teams, we would have them on the stink list on Sundays. I'll tell you that right now. So the over/under in this game is 6. That might be something actually. We're creeping up into the 6 range. Although it did work out for me last night. Had a winning ticket come through. I had an under 6. And I believe it was the New York Islanders game. That game came in at 5 goals. So I didn't hit it by much, but it did get home. So I would rather play the 6 than the 6.5, like I always talk about. But in this instance, with these two teams, I feel like a 6 here is absolutely achievable. 3-3. The goaltending for the Flyers doesn't impress me at all either. So over 6 is going to be minus 120. Under 6, minus 102. Not super numbers. If I had to pick one, I would go over in this game, though. Anaheim, they might let 4 or 5 in by themselves. So if they can get 2, maybe 3, you feel pretty good about getting that. I don't go anything money line here. I don't like either of the teams. So the money line does not interest me at all. So let's go here. We're going to look at these goal totals. So let's go 60-minute Philadelphia total goals. The over-under is 2.5. So over 2.5, you're getting paid minus 166. Under 2.5, though, is plus 130. I take this over 2.5. I'd take that all day at minus 166. Let that kind of be, probably the worst part of any ticket you would put in there. And I mean that value-wise, because I absolutely think Philadelphia gets 3 in this game. This is something that over in my book that I will take a look at because I like that number. Just to pair it with something, it's going to boost up. You could play the Monday night game and look for a couple other things and then put this in as your last piece just to kind of bump it up a little bit. It ain't going to bump it up a lot, but I feel like this is something that, you will expect to happen. So you don't have to really worry about it all that much, I don't think. So that's actually going to be probably would be an official pick for me. Let's go 2.5 Philly goals, and then we don't have to worry about anything else. Will there be overtime? This game, I could see that plus 320 if you want to do a little overtime ticket. There's really nothing tonight, though. So you can't really round robin or do anything crazy like that with it. So let's go. Let's check out the goal scores real quick. We're going to get into the futures, and then we're going to get out of here. A pretty low-key night in the NHL. We had that marquee game in the afternoon. That was most of the excitement for the NHL today. Really good slate tomorrow, so definitely be looking at that. Let's go ahead. We'll make that our pick. That's just the only thing that I really feel comfortable with in this game. Other than that, to be very honest, it would be a pass. But I like Philly for 3. And that's really the only thing that I'll take out of this game. The goal scorers. Oh, geez. Yeah, I just don't like any of it. Maybe you want to take a little bit of a shot and go Trevor Zegras from the Anaheim Ducks. He's at plus 194. I could see that. He's a very talented player for them, young player. So if I'm going to go anything with goal scoring props, I'm going to take Trevor Zegras for that almost plus 200. You're just a little bit shy of it at plus 194. I think that's probably not a safe bet, but that's another thing that I could take away from this game. Either Zegras or the Philly over total. So let's take a look. We won't get into it too much. We're just going to kind of read the slate for tomorrow. It's much better, so make sure you take a look at it. Look at it. There's going to be a lot of opportunities tomorrow. So tomorrow we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are traveling to Ottawa to play the Senators. This is certainly a game that I would look the Senator props. They're not a great team, but they're pesky. They'll give you a fit. Washington had a disappointing loss to them in a game that they should have won. Went to overtime. They lost. Senators are always giving them troubles, but they're a pesky team. I think they can certainly beat Columbus. So I would look at anything Ottawa there. Definitely probably some team totals there for Ottawa. Really good game here. Carolina Hurricanes are traveling to play the New York Rangers. That's 7 p.m. That's going to be a really good game. So there's probably a lot to take out of that. New York Rangers are plus 108 on the money line. That's probably pretty appropriate, I think. The St. Louis Blues, they are traveling to Toronto to play the Maple Leafs. Not really sure what I like in that game. Minus 1.5 for the Toronto Maple Leafs is minus 106. That'd be something I'd take a look at. Buffalo Sabres, they are traveling to Washington to play the Capitals. Capitals are minus 164 on the money line. They are about to get healthy. Reinforcements are on the way. They have been picking it up, playing great hockey as of late, put themselves in third place in the division. So let's keep an eye on them. We might be able to squeeze quite good value out of them. Arizona Coyotes, they're traveling to Florida to play the Panthers. Calgary is heading to Winnipeg to play the Jets. That'll be a tough game. That might be one to tune in on as well. Montreal Canadiens, they are heading to Nashville to play the Predators. These are 8 p.m. puck drops. Here's a game that you definitely want to look at. Tampa Bay Lightning traveling to Chicago to play the Blackhawks. You might be able to get good puck line value out of this game. So look Tampa here to have a good night in Chicago at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Seattle Kraken, they are traveling to Edmonton to play the Oilers. That'll be a pretty big game for both these teams here in that division. Seattle trying to pull away. Edmonton trying to crawl back. So this will be maybe another good game at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seattle Kraken are plus 120 on the money line. The Dallas Stars, they are heading to L.A. to play the Kings. The Kings are plus 100 on the money line. That's going to be a tough game for the Kings. But it is at home, so we'll see if that helps them out a little bit. That is a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop. And to wrap up the slate for the evening, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is puck drop. The New York Islanders are Vancouver Canucks. Well, this is going to be a game, if you want to tune in late night on a Tuesday, we're going to look for the Islanders to really take a hold of this game. -1.5 for them is plus 210. So already starting out with some pretty high value there if the Islanders can win by 2 or more goals. Islanders are -120 on the money line. Vancouver Canucks plus 100 on the money line at home. So that is the slate for tomorrow. Pretty good stuff. So tune in. Try and tune into some of these games, or at least take a look at the menu. There's going to be, like I said, some pretty good opportunities here. I'm kind of licking my chops, so to speak, here for this Tampa Bay-Chicago game. I'm going to look for Tampa to absolutely hammer on the Blackhawks. We'll see how that goes for me. All right, let's look into these futures real quick, and then we will go ahead and get out of here. We'll start with the Eastern Conference. We have the Boston Bruins. They're paying plus 300 to win that conference. If you want to get anything plus, go ahead and do it now with the Bruins. It looks like they're going to run away with that. So if you want to kind of go the more safe route, let's go Boston plus 300 while you're still getting at least decent value out of it. Jersey's playing plus 750. Tampa paying 750 as well. Carolina plus 450. Toronto plus 500. I would stay away from Toronto. I do not think that they win the conference and go play for the cup. That's just me, though. The Penguins are at plus 900. Washington Capitals, 20-1 odds there. And they're picking it up. I don't know. It's really going to be hard to beat Boston, any of these teams. But all you got to do is get in, and you never know what can happen. So definitely still some good value here on the board in the East to win the conference for sure. If we're going to go into the West here real quick, we got Colorado. They're paying plus 280. I would like that number to be a lot higher, especially being where they are right now in the standings. So I don't like that number at all. I don't mean to speak for anybody. I'm not telling you what to do. I just personally do not like that number for a team that's not probably where they need to be right now for me to feel comfortable with them winning that conference. Vegas Golden Knights are paying plus 350. I'll tell you what, I would really take a shot here on the Dallas Stars. They're paying plus 750. I like that number for the Dallas Stars. I really do. And I think that they could certainly win that conference. They get in there, they play a heavy style, and they wear you out. Next thing you know, they're winning the Western Conference, earning a trip to go play for the Stanley Cup. These other teams I'm not really crazy about. Calgary's at plus 800. Edmonton plus 950. The Wild 950. And they got the Winnipeg Jets here. This might be a sneaky play if you keep up with the Jets a little bit and if they can kind of pick it up. They're paying 18-1 to win the Western Conference. And I think that's a little bit of a tall ask. But at the same time, with that value, if they can pick it up, I think that is the sneaky play coming out of this list. And Seattle Kraken, they are 20-1 to win that conference. We'll jump in the divisions real quick. Carolina, minus 300 for good reason. They're out in front quite a ways. Now, here's where it gets pretty interesting. The New Jersey Devils at plus 550. The Pittsburgh Penguins at 10-1. But look at this. And I think the Capitals are not getting the respect right now. But you know what? They will once the cavalry arrives, they've got guys that are getting healthy, getting ready to return. 22-1 odds to win the Metropolitan Division. I know Carolina has that lead, but if the Capitals continue to play the way they are and these big name guys get healthy and come in and make them that much better, I would watch out because they are certainly going to make a splash out there for the Metro. So that's a pretty good number there for the Washington Capitals. And I'm being a little bit biased. I will own up to that. But just that number alone, 22-1. I mean, why not? I think that's great value for that at this point in the season. In the Atlantic, you have the Boston Bruins. I don't think you really look anywhere here. If you want to take a shot at anything in the Atlantic Division, I think your best bet for anybody but the Boston Bruins would be the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know Toronto's there. They'll make the playoffs. They're at plus 400, but I don't know. They just make me nervous. They always get there and then crap out, and it's just what they do. I don't feel comfortable. I'd rather go with the 12-1 odds for the Tampa Bay Lightning to win that division, other than the Boston Bruins. But it's looking like the Bruins will probably run away with that. Dallas Stars over there in the Central, they're minus 105. But look, the 1 and 2 punch here, number 1 Dallas Stars and the number 2 Winnipeg Jets. The Jets are paying plus 700. And they're only, I believe we talked, 5 points behind the Dallas Stars? That is crazy. So look, let's keep our eye on the Winnipeg Jets here and see if we can't get some value out of them, because we're getting crazy numbers on the futures for them right now. And especially with the spot that they're in the standings, absolutely achievable. All it takes is Dallas sputtering for a couple games. Here comes Winnipeg, and you're cashing in plus 700. I mean, come on, that's a sneaky good pick right there. Colorado, they're plus 220. I'm not liking that where they are. I don't like that for the Colorado Avalanche. We've talked about them. They'll probably get into the playoffs. They might make it in as a wild card. We'll see. We'll see what the trend is as the season goes along. Minnesota Wild, they are plus 550 possible, but I tell you, I'm very much attracted to this Winnipeg plus 700. And we'll wrap it up for the evening. We're running 2 minutes over, so we'll get you out of here. Vegas Golden Knights minus 135. But look, here's the Kings. If you think they could pick it up just a little bit, they are plus 700 as well. So if you went the Winnipeg Jets and the Kings, and you just want to throw $20 on these two second place teams in their division to pick it up and win, you put a $20 wager on that, it's going to return you $1,260. I mean, for a $20 bill, come on, plus 700, both teams. Vegas, they can sputter. They're not, the almighty of that conference. That's for sure. They have teams that can catch them if they get their act together. So for my futures tonight, that's pretty productive in my book. Winnipeg and Los Angeles, 2-leg parlay for $20, $1,260. Sign me up all day long. You got the Seattle Kraken. They're 11-1 odds to win that division. Calgary Flames plus 450. Edmonton Oilers plus 600. And then anything really past that, you can just forget about it. So there's what we found tonight. I tell you what, I'm getting a little bit excited. I might go over into my book and see what these numbers are and I might do that Winnipeg LA parlay there. So that's going to do it for us here. What the puck is going on this evening. So we have the Friday soccer paycheck is back. That'll be on. There's soccer every day this week, so I don't know. Maybe Steve he might pop up and do a little quick segment there, get some soccer info out. And then I believe I haven't heard there is Saturday football, so stay tuned for the round robin. That might be another Friday edition to talk about all the games before they happen. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us again. We'll be back next Monday, 6 o'clock. Hopefully we have a little bit of a better slate. I know tonight was kind of lackluster, and we really had to drag it out with what we had. So again, we thank you for tuning in. And if you've got any kind of NHL tickets, NFL tickets, anything for that matter, as usual, we wish you luck, and we will talk to you guys again soon. All right, everybody. Have a good evening.